To begin the practice in a seat, you might sit upon a cushion or a block. Some of you have props at home. I have a few, so I'm going to utilize them. A book is a great stand-in. I also think a sturdy water bottle, etc. Those sorts of things can be helpful. And let yourself be creative with how you approach the truths of your circumstances. And close the eyes if you'd like, or downcast your gaze towards one spot on the earth. And before we enter into practice, just take a moment to notice how things are with you right now. And already this is the ask, this is the courageous ask of the practice, is that we pay attention to how things are. How is it right now? And some of you have a great deal of context about sort of the history and past of yoga and may have heard me carp on these things, so forgive me if it's repetitive for you, but inhale and exhale. Two sides of polarity, yet two things that meet, right? We work with fluctuation a lot in yoga. And one of the ways that we do it in an asana practice like Vinyasa yoga is the flexion and extension of the spine. And that's really back bending and forward rounding and side bending to each side, right? We move in this way with our breath to try to undulate the spine, to free it, is the idea. Is that the spine is sort of the center of our energy, of our connection of self into this sort of earthen shape that we're in, that the freedom of the spine would give us full access on both planes, the ability to go to what is metaphysical and the ability to make choices on the physical level with equal and opposite control. Shiva and Shakti, the Kundalini rising is the sort of classic context I'm talking about. But we're going to work a lot with this flexion and extension. And I want to say that while, sometimes we all want to be Beyonce, be careful with your neck. In other words, try not to whiplash yourself at any point in time. Think more about the center of your spine being your sternum, your breastbone, maybe your tail and your pelvis doing the actions. And you can always minimize range of motion for these choices, but consider them a study of polarity, equal and opposite. How do we find neutral based on what is disparate? With that in mind, begin the practice by uniting with 3 rounds of the seed sound of Om. I offer it as a secular chant, acknowledging this idea of interconnection between all things, or union. And if for any reason at all oming or chanting isn't for you, it's chill to sit with us in presence instead. Otherwise, you might close your eyes once more if you didn't keep them that way already. You might situate yourself and prepare. Take a big free inhale in through your nose, clear the energetic channel. And take an open mouth exhale each day. Inhale, prepare for Om. Take a long inhale in through your nose and a slow exhale out through your nose. And let's begin in child's pose in Balasana. So you can shift off your hips to one side and bring your feet back into a kneeling position. Hands and knees to set up. Bring your big toes to touch. Knees can be together or wide, any point in between. And if you come into this and it feels like a lot in your knees, you might just come more forward. You can also choose to put a blanket between your hips and your heels. As you come forward and down, the arms can be out long in front. You're welcome to take your elbows wide and prop up a book or a pillow under your forehead, or take your hands back by your hips. As you settle in, if you get into the shape and it's not at all for you, you could choose a seat or to lie on your side or your back instead. I always forget to mention, but I have a fellow poser, a yoga demonstrator. My partner Tony is here. And then I also have dogs, so they may run through and make shapes and sounds, just so you're aware if you hear something that's not a sound you're accustomed to. That might be true. As you begin to pay attention to how things are in this shape, you might close your eyes, but if you prefer to keep them open, it's okay to do so. We just have a really dominant visual sense. So you might start to consider letting the other senses rise towards that visual acuity. You need to pay attention to what you're noticing. And as far as the darshan, the point of view of yoga, we're talking about fluctuations here as well, sensations or vrittis, patterns that rise and fall. Even if they're always really there somewhere in the back sort of cabinet of your mind, they roll up into the present tense of your awareness and roll back. You might just practice noticing how thought comes up and falls away, how feeling comes up and falls away, how sight and sound comes up and falls away, like the rocking of an old rocking chair, the swinging of a porch swing, branch following in the breeze. Notice that idea of up and down, of back and forth, and that between those two forces, you start to find connection, right? The two polarities meet one another, they connect, and that's how you figure out how to rock, as it were. And then we study the polarity of our awareness of self. What do you ask of yourself? What do you consent to in this practice? Right? I'm not in the room to apply any hands-on touch, but even in my words and offerings, make sure that you are practicing proper consent. Say no to what is not for you today. Use your own discernment and judgment. Let's find the fluctuation of Ujjayi pranayama, the psychic breath or the upward liberating breath. Exhale the air you have in your lungs and get a little extra empty. You might press some air out and away by gathering your navel back, Uddiyana Bandha. And then slowly breathe in through your nose and fill your belly wide with breath. And then your rib cage slowly wide with breath. And then your chest, and hold softly at mostly full. To exhale, open your mouth, HA. And at the bottom, slowly begin to inhale in again. Breathe into your back body, your low back, your back ribs, maybe all the way up to your shoulder blades, and hold at that mostly full place. And when you're ready, open mouth, exhale, HA. Ujjayi pranayama with lips sealed. Drag the air in through your nose and spread that breath three-dimensionally throughout your torso, front to back, top to bottom, and hold it full. Keep the lips sealed, HA, sigh through the nose, that same snoring sensation out through the nostrils. And continuing, inhale in through your nose, snoring and spreading. Exhaling out through your nose, emptying and sighing. And at first, just breathe yourself to life with this breath, in and out, up and down, back and forth. Study the polarity as all things that cycle and change. You don't have to be attached to this breath being the deepest because another one will come after. This one doesn't have to be perfect because another one has come before. But continue to practice paying attention to your breath. It's the thread that keeps us in the now of the present tense of our sensations, of our experience. Inhale little by slowly and exhale little by slowly to begin to move your body in your child's pose or your grounding shape. You might wiggle your fingers or rock your hips. You might slowly press yourself upward and forward towards a tabletop shape, a hands and knees position. Stack your shoulders over your wrists and your hips over your knees. Take about 10 breaths to do so. Maybe you stay lower longer. Maybe you rise up sooner. But move it around a little in space. Might be subtle, slow. It doesn't have to be, once again, super deep to be effective. Sometimes a little gentle, soft manipulation, like when you wiggle something or when you hang your arm and drop it, right? There's lots of ways of moving the body, pressing, pulling, pressing, flicking, dragging. Right? There's a lot of ways to be with what you're creating. And try to let it be a little imperfect, perhaps, not so performative, even though it might be nice to acknowledge and turn towards sensations of grace. A few more breaths here. Meeting Slowly in the hands and knees position at the bottom of your next couple of rounds of inhales and exhales. Let's find cow and cat breathing. Inhale, cow pose, drop your belly, lift your chin and tailbone up. Exhale to cat pose, tuck your chin around your spine, dome your shoulders, draw your navel in and up. Inhale, cow pose, breathe your heart up, tail up. And exhale to cat, curl, compress, and round. Draw the belly muscles in. This is Uddiyana Bandha. Follow your breath, inhaling and exhaling through these two actions. And again, you might think more about your tail tucking and flaring. You might let the neck just kind of come along for the ride. You might think about how much you can pull your shoulder blades into your back and up to your ears, how much your bottom front ribs flare and then draw together. Do a few more rounds, inhaling and exhaling. Over the next few inhales, come back towards neutral, tabletop. Make sure your hands are really stacked under your armpits so you don't feel overextended in the way of the neck where the jaw lines down into the shoulder. And then side to side bending. Take an inhale to lengthen your tail and your crown away from one another. Exhale, side bend towards the right. So look over your right shoulder and sway your right hip towards your right ear. Good. Inhale back through center. Exhale to the left. Look over your left shoulder, sway your left hip, and follow your breath. Inhale to neutral. Exhale to sway. Inhale to neutral. In your own timing. You don't have to move super fast. Once again, you might play around with a little bend in your elbows. There might be a cat or a small wiener dog to move off to the side in your way. And let these things be part of it. I think every once in a while, letting the structure loosen so we can enjoy the experience is actually a very wise choice. And the next time you're at center, pause at center and walk your hands back towards your knees. And we're going to sit our hips on our heels. So if you need to sit a different way, do, or sit up on something, totally golden to do. So we're going to take the same action, but from a little more of an upright stance. And I'm going to turn to face you. So inhale your arms out and up overhead. You can bring your hands to shoulder distance, or you can press your palms or hook your thumbs. And exhale to round. Tuck your chin, dome your shoulders. Inhale, lift your heart up. Basically that same idea as the cow pose. And exhale to cat, rounding in. Follow your breath. You can also do this. The arms just become fatigued with hands on the knees or hands on the earth around you. Think about moving your rib cage. You might feel your hips rocking on your heels, your tailbone tucking and flaring. Take about 5 more rounds of breath to do this action. And the next opportunity you have to exhale, return to neutral, let your arms come down by your sides. And walk your hands back out forward into the hands and knees position, the tabletop shape. Press down into your right hand, right thumb on the mat. Inhale your left arm out to the left and up to the sky. Reach up. Exhale to thread the needle underneath and behind. Come down to your shoulder, ear, or jaw and breathe. You're welcome to keep your right hand where it is. Some people will kind of spin the elbow up to get a little shoulder action. Reach your arm out long, up overhead, around behind your back, wherever you land on. Remember, it doesn't have to be the fanciest or deepest feeling for it to be effective. Is there still ease? It's another idea of polarity, structure, sthira, and ease or sukha, sometimes also thought of as softness. How do we use the two to create malleability in our mammal bodies? Return your right hand to the mat near your nose and inhale your left arm back out and then up, reaching upward. And exhale to tabletop, 2 hands on the mat. Plug your left thumb down, heavy. Inhale, right arm up, reach upward. Exhale, thread the needle underneath and behind. Come down to your shoulder, ear, or jaw, and breathe. Draw the Ujjayi breath in and out through your nose. Return your left hand to the mat near your nose if you moved it. Inhale your right arm back out and then up, reaching upward. Exhale to tabletop, 2 hands on the mat. Good. Again, inhale, cow pose. On your exhale, bend your elbows in and back. Offer your heart forward and down towards the mat. It might not get to the earth. You can also come to the elbows. Inhale back to the cow pose. Lift your heart up. And exhale to cat. Round in. Inhale, cow pose. Like chaturanga, exhale, bend your elbows in and back. Offer your heart forward and down, tail up. Exhale, press back up. Exhale, cat pose, round in. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, bend your elbows, offer your heart. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. Inhale, cow pose, curl your toes under. Exhale, spin your knees and hips up and back, downward dog pose. Begin to breathe and move. You might walk out your dog. Remember, tabletop, child's pose, these are good alternatives to this posture. If you have wrist issues, you can do it from the forearm version or dolphin. Right? I'm not sure why we call it dolphin. I've never quite seen the shape, but that context, press into your thumbs, extend your shoulders so that your hips go up and back. And if bending your knees gives you space, floating your heels gives you room, do it. Mainly, we're trying to affect through the upper body to try to make enough space to meet ease. Sometimes we have to decrease resistance, which is usually just like genetics, how tight your great grandmother's hamstrings were, etc., so on. And give yourself as much space as you can. Take an inhale, forward, upward push up, plank position. Right away, exhale to put your knees down on the earth. Good. From this position, inhale, bent knee down dog. Spin your tail high with your knees bent. Lift your tail up. And exhale, drop your heels a little bit down towards down dog. Good. Inhale up onto your tippy toes this time. Exhale, bend your knees by about 15 degrees. Inhale to plank pose, come forward. Right away, exhale your knees to the mat. With your tail up, inhale, bend knee down dog, spin it high. And exhale, drive your heels a little bit lower, down dog. One more time like that. Inhale up to your tippy toes, spike your heels up. Exhale, bend your knees. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, knees to the mat. Inhale, bent knee form of down dog, spin it high. And exhale, drive your heels down, classic dog pose. Inhale your right leg up, one-footed dog pose. And exhale to the scorpion dog. Open your hip, bend your knee. Good. Inhale, straighten and extend your right leg high back and long. Exhale to pull your right knee towards your nose, your chin towards your chest, your shoulders over your wrists. Inhale, one-footed dog reach. Exhale, scorpion dog. Open your hip, bend your knee. Inhale, straighten your leg, reach it high. Exhale, right knee towards right elbow or shoulder on the outside edge. Inhale, one-footed dog reach. Scorpion on the exhale, open your hip and bend your knee. Inhale, straighten and reach. Exhale, right knee towards left elbow, under the body, shoulders over the wrist. Do what you can. Inhale, one-footed dog reach, and exhale, scorpion. Open your hip, bend your knee. Inhale, straighten and reach. And exhale, step your right foot forward between your hands. Now, you can tent to your fingertips. If you have blocks or block-like things around, you might put them underneath your hands. You can also choose to go higher up onto your knee. Inhale to cow lunge. Dip your back knee, lift your heart forward, out and up. Exhale to cat lunge, straightening your front leg, round in. Inhale, cow lunge. Exhale, cat lunge, and continue with your own breath and timing. You might even stay or linger for a couple of extra breaths. Try to study the extension of the front of your left leg and the extension of the back of your right leg, the curling and uncurling of your spine. Notice that your legs are strong and thus are a good thing to move your spine with and against, right? They're really only the strongest, largest areas of the body to be able to create traction and leverage against in a lot of our positioning. The next time your front knee is bent, pause in the low lunge, plant your hands and inhale, step to plank position, upward push-up. And exhale slowly, knees to the mat. Bend your elbows in and back and lower your chest all the way down. Tops of your hips down, tops of your feet down. Inhale, Cobra, Bhujangasana. Lift your heart up, lift your hands up. Exhale, bring your chin or forehead down. 2 more times. Inhale, Cobra. Exhale, bring the upper body down. 1 more time with your own breath, inhaling. Curl your toes under. Stick your butt up a little if you can. Inhale towards bent knee, down dog, tail high. Exhale, heels towards the earth, classic dog business. Inhale, left leg up, 1-footed dog. Exhale, scorpion your dog, open your hip, bend your knee and breathe. Stabilize as you can through the points of contact on the earth. Relax your head and neck. Inhale, straighten and extend your left leg high back and long behind you. Exhale, your left knee towards your nose, your chin towards your chest, your shoulders over your wrists. Inhale, 1-footed dog, reach, extend. Exhale, scorpion, open the hip and bend the knee. Inhale, straighten and reach. Exhale, left knee towards the left elbow, shoulders over the wrists like in plank. Inhale, 1-footed dog, reach. Exhale, scorpion, open your hip and bend your knee. Inhale, straighten your leg and reach it high. Exhale, your left knee towards your right elbow under the body. Do what you can. Inhale, 1-footed dog, reach, high back and long. Exhale to low lunge. Step it forward, grab it and pull it up as needed. And tent up onto fingertips or grab props once more. Choices might be the same from side to side, but they could be different. Inhale to cow lunge, dip your back knee, lift your heart forward out and up. And exhale towards cat lunge, straightening both legs. As you breathe, know that you're totally welcome to do this from this lower position. Sometimes it becomes just a different bit of action, or to choose to be much higher up. Alternate how much or little you bend or straighten your legs. And try to fluctuate. Feel the action of swinging and rocking. Inhale one way and exhale the other. And the next time your front knee is bent, pause. Plant your hands on the mat and step your left foot back to meet your right foot, plank pose. Take an inhale and exhale your knees to the mat. Bend your elbows in and back. You can lower chest and chin or lower all the way down. Tops of your feet down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale to lower. 2 more times. Inhale, cobra. Exhale to lengthen on the way down. 1 more time with your own breath. Curl your toes, plug your knees down, stick your butt up. Inhale through knees or through plank, back to bent knee, downward dog pose. And exhale, drive your heels a bit low, classic dog pose. Inhale to your tippy toes. Exhale, bend your knees. Keeping your tail high, tuck your chin towards your throat, and inhale, push forward, shoulders over the wrists. So a little strange and different. Exhale to plank, bring your heart forward, your gaze forward. Inhale, bend your knees to the mat. Exhale, lower all the way down, or chest and chin. Inhale, cobra, lift your heart up. Exhale, bring your upper body down and curl your toes. From knees or toes, inhale, table or plank. Exhale, back towards bent knee, down dog. Drive your heels low, straightening your legs. Inhale to your tippy toes. Exhale, bend your knees. Tuck your chin towards your throat. Inhale, round forward, shoulders over the wrists. Exhale to plank pose. Inhale to upward dog. So flip one foot and the other and lift your chest up, press your hands down. Exhale to downward dog, tail high, heels low. Take a big deep inhale in through your nose. Open your mouth to exhale, HA. Again, inhale in through your nostrils like a lion, HA. Good. Breathe in through your mouth like through a straw. Out through your nose, Ujjayi Pranayama. In through your nose, Ujjayi. Out through your nose, Ujjayi. Press into your hands. Take a big deep inhale, bend your knees and look forward. And exhale, step or lightly hop to the top of your mat. And let's find ragdoll form of folding. You might widen your feet, turn your palms up, grab your elbows with your hands, try to drop your head. Often a generous knee bend is the answer to our quandary about why things feel strange. Bend your knees deeply. Sometimes I can't relax my neck because of how I have to hold this microphone. So don't look at my example necessarily. Try to let your own neck go. And think about for a moment your feet on the ground. Are you grabbing or tensing with your toes, and could you soften them? Can you let the bones of your feet sort of be their own architecture, laying the tent of the muscles of your arch over them? Maybe you can feel your shin bones, the joint of your knee with the cap in front, your thigh bones. Maybe you can imagine your pelvis sort of nestling on top of, sitting on top of your thigh bones, turning. Your spine hanging, and your head heavy, like it could be tossed in the breeze. Good. With bent knees, please inhale, halfway lift. Roll your heart forward. Feel free to flare your tail out, press your hands to shin slides or props. Exhale, forward fold. You might even tuck your chin a little and round your spine. Inhale, halfway lift. Another undulation, cow and cat. Exhale, round and inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, round and fold. Bend your knees, hang your head and arms, and round up slowly towards standing, one bone at a time. You might feel your tail drop under, your sacrum stack, your lumbar spine, low spine, your rib cage starting to roll up and open, your shoulder blades hanging down, your head, crown, skull stacked in neutral, your sinuses and jaw hanging and soft. Samastitihi, same on all sides, standing posture. We stand in and at our own attention. If you can close your eyes, do. If you prefer, pick a spot out in space. Let your eyes just rest there. Try to even use that visual energy to seek the information that is within. You yourself are a microcosm of the macrocosm of what is universal. The studying the self is one of the ways to study everything. Begin to notice what you're paying attention to, what your intention is. Are you working to liberate? Are you working to manifest? Are you destroying or creating? Yet another polarity. What are you letting go of that is not for you? What are you cultivating that is required? And on your next inhale, flutter your eyes open. On your next exhale, tune in to what's around you. And slowly at first, another set of undulations. Inhale the arms up, Urdhva Hastasana extension. Reach up, lift the front ribs up, maybe look up. Exhale, forward fold, flexion, round down, hinge at your hips, bend your knees if you like. Inhale, halfway lift, another extender, roll your heart out. Exhale, hands down, step back, plank pose. Inhale in plank pose. And exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, lower about halfway. Inhale, upward dog. Pull your heart up through your arms, extending once more. Exhale, downward dog pose, tail high, heels low. Breathing, please. Ujjayi Pranayama, in and out through your nose. If the breathing is new, know that it might be weird for a while before it feels more organic to breathe in action this way. Focusing on your exhales will help, just like when you sigh when you're exasperated. You slow your breath down when you've been crying, etc., and so on. You know how to do it. It's just about practicing it. Your next available exhale, step, hop, or float forward. Land on the soles of your feet, another flexion. Inhale, halfway lift, extend again. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms up, pose, reach to rise, inflate to stand up. Look up if your neck allows. Exhale, samasthiti, arms by the sides, stand in neutral pose. Inhale, arms up, reach up. Exhale, folding deeply, hinge at your hips. Inhale, unroll your spine straight out. Exhale, hands down, step back. Chaturanga, you can lower halfway or all the way. Inhale, upward dog, or choose the cobra from belly down. Exhale, downward dog. Make your way up and back and breathe. Now extend through your shoulders and down dog. We spend some time here. And again, that's a little bit of stamina, a little bit of strengthening. If in the back of your shoulders you feel a lot of compression, like you just get stuck there, sometimes widening your hands more, turning your index fingers more forward as opposed to your wrists straight out can help. Sometimes playing around with the distance between hands and feet changes things. Exhale, step, hop or float forward. Arrive on the soles of your feet. Inhale, halfway lift, unroll your heart. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms up, pose, Urdhva Hastasana, reaching upward. And exhale, Samasthiti, let the arms return to neutral. Last one like this. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, step, hop, float, or travel to lower. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, up dog or cobra. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward dog pose. Breathe in Ujjayi Pranayama. In and out through your nose. Try to flood your back ribs and back lungs with a lot of breath and space. You can start to apply Uddiyana Bandha, that navel drawing in, up, and back. It's tricky though, because in down dog, we're still trying to extend our spine. A lot of Uddiyana Bandha feels like it's rounding us. You might also apply Mula Bandha. It's a little like a Kegel. Gather the floor of your pelvis up and lift him towards the organs. Press into your hands and exhale, step, hop, or float forward, land on your feet. Inhale, unroll halfway. Exhale, folding deeply. Inhale, arms up, pose, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Samasthiti, stand in neutral. Good. Inhale, take your arms up, reach upward. Exhale, forward fold, dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees for Utkatasana. Hips low. Inhale, arms forward or up. You can always have hands in front of you or hands on hips, especially if neck and shoulder congestion is just a lot. Lift your heart up, though, a little bit of a backward bend. Take a big free inhale in. Exhale, fold forward. Dive over your legs. Good. Inhale, halfway lift. Listen. Exhale, forward fold, bend your knees, hips low. Inhale, fierce pose, Utkatasana, chest up, maybe arms up. Right away, exhale, forward fold, dive down. Good, inhale, halfway lift. Last one, exhale, forward fold, bend your knees, hips low. Inhale, fierce pose, Utkatasana. Exhale, forward fold, dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, step or float back, lower halfway. Inhale, upward dog pose. Exhale, downward facing dog pose. Inhale your right leg up and back, one-footed dog. Exhale, scorpion dog. Open your hip and bend through your knee. Inhale, straighten and reach through your right leg. Exhale, low lunge. Step your right foot forward between your hands. Good. This time, let's all drop the back knee down to the mat. And you can pad your back knee if you'd like. Roll your mat over, grab a handy sweatshirt or a pillow. Climb up onto your right knee thigh and interweave your fingers there. So we're going to do a little back and forth in our hamstring in the same way we have been doing. Press with your right foot and shift back on your inhale. You might even lift your heart up, open through the throat. Exhale, bend through your front knee, round your spine like you're trying to bring your forehead towards your kneecap. Good. Inhale, straighten the leg, lean back, lift your heart up. Exhale, bend the knee around your spine, dome in. One more time, inhale, straighten your right leg, lean back away. Exhale, bend your knee and round your spine. This time, keep your front knee bent, but inhale, lift your heart up, lift your gaze up if your neck allows. And keeping your front knee bent, this leg stance. Exhale, round your spine, tuck your chin, dome your shoulders. Again, inhale, lift your heart up, roll your shoulder blades down your back. And exhale, round your spine, tuck your chin if your neck allows. This time, inhale, lift your heart up and stay up there on the exhale. You can inhale your left arm up by your ear and exhale by exhale, side body bend to the right. You can take your right hand down to the earth and put it up to your opposite hand and grab a hold of the wrist to pull. Keep pressing your left hip forward and down. You can turn out through the right leg if you'd like. You need a lot of compression in your right hip. Inhale, rise back up towards center. Take both arms up overhead. Bend your elbows. Exhale, cactus arm back bend. Pull your shoulder blades into your back. 2 more. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, drag your elbows and shoulders down. Lift your heart up. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, backward bend. Inhale, arms up, reaching up. Exhale, hands to the earth. Straighten your front leg, half split, half Hanuman. And you can stay right here. You're welcome to go more back. Some people add the quad stretch and they wiggle more forward towards the splits. Try to relax your neck whenever you've found your leg stance and let your head's weight pull forward and down. Good. Exhale, bend your right knee and plant your right foot. Curl your left toes under and lift your left knee up off the mat. Spin your back left heel down to the mat. Now, sometimes widening your feet right and left gives you more room to do that, especially if your back knee feels torqued. You might shorten your stance, but don't worry about your hips being squared. You don't have to shorten it for that reason. Climb up or rise up to warrior one. Inhale. Take your arms up by your ears. You're always welcome again, just like in the Utkatasana, to do something else with your arms. There are lots of good variations, and sometimes just doing something different to see how it feels is useful. This is a bit of a back bend, so lift your heart up, plug your heels down, front knee bending, back knee straightening, with your front thigh turn out, back thigh turn in, and lift Uddiyana and Mula Bandha, the pelvic floor and the navel back, just by about 10%, nothing extreme. Take an inhale, stretch up, maybe look up. Exhale, hands down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward dog. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward dog. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, open your hip and bend your knee. Inhale, straighten your leg and reach it high. Exhale, low lunge, step your foot forward between your hands. Good. And drop your back knee down to the mat and untuck your toes. Again, feel free to pat it if that serves you. We're going to find a little bit of climbing up onto the front knee thigh to do some of that undulation that we did at the beginning of this action. Good. So inhale, straighten through your front leg. Start to lean your chest up, lift your heart up. And exhale, bend into your left knee and let your body fold forward, round your spine. Good. Inhale, straighten by pressing with your left heel, your front leg, and go back with your spine. And exhale, bend. Right? Again, it's not about going to the extremes. It's just finding that strength in the back of your leg. Inhale, straighten your left leg, lift your heart up, lean back. Exhale, bend your left knee, round your spine. Good, and then keep your front knee bent, this leg stance, and inhale, lift your heart up only, and exhale, round your spine. So much smaller as the legs stay the same. Good, inhale, open the heart, pull the shoulders down the back, and exhale, round your spine, dome in. Next time you inhale up to the open position in the chest, take an exhale to stay there. Reach your right arm up by your right ear. Inhale to stretch up, and exhale by exhale over to the left. You can take your left hand down or keep it on your left knee thigh. You're welcome to go a little more forward or back in your choices. You're welcome to reach up and pull in your right wrist with your left hand. Breathing now in the Ujjayi form, no matter what is happening in the here and now. And slowly inhale, rise back through center. Take both arms up by the ears. And exhale, cactus the arms to back bend. Pull your shoulder blades down. Lift your heart up. Inhale, arms up, reaching upward. Exhale, cactus arm backward bend. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, back bending. Inhale, arms up, reaching up. Exhale, hands to the mat. Straighten your front leg. Half split, half Hanuman, maybe a little more than half Hanuman. Right? It's like a pint of ice cream. Sometimes the whole pint is what you need. Sometimes you really only need, whatever serving size is right for you at that moment. Right? Sometimes it's more than a pint, right? So you'll have to discern for yourself, but it's the same idea of like too much can be too much. So listen to your body, notice your sensations. Where do you feel them? What are they? Good. Exhale, bend into your left knee and plant your foot. Curl your back toes under and plant your hands on the mat. Inhale, step back to plank pose, upward push-up position. And exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward dog pose. Exhale, downward dog pose. Go ahead and step your left foot forward since I forgot where you're one. Spin your back heel down and inhale, rise up, Virabhadrasana, right? So you can climb up, take the same time that you did on the opposite side. Just because we had a different entry, it might also just feel different. You're welcome to reach your arms forward or up. And again, a little bit of Uddiyana Bandha is just to be strong through the center for our spine. A little bit of Mula Bandha, plug your heels down, let your pelvis be heavy. And as you breathe upward, you might gaze upward, but if your heart can't turn that far, you'll just crank the neck. So soften to find range for yourself. Take an inhale to reach up and reach back. And exhale, hands down, step back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog pose. Breathe in through the nose. Out through your mouth, HA. Inhale in through the nose. Lion's breath, HA. In through your mouth like through a straw. Out through your nose, Ujjayi Pranayama. In through the nose, Ujjayi. Out through the nose, Ujjayi. Press into the hands, inhale. Exhale, step, hop, or float forward. Land on your feet. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees, Utkatasana, hips low. Inhale, arms up. Still inhaling, straighten your legs, stand up. Exhale, Samasthiti. Take a big free inhale in. Exhale, bend your knees, sink your hips low for Utkatasana. Inhale, arms forward or up. Exhale, arms back by the hips like airplane wings, Dikasana style. Good. And continue. Inhale, arms forward and up. Exhale, arms back to airplane. We're going to keep doing this with the breath. And bend the elbows if you're looking for a little relief in your shoulders on the way through. If you are working for sort of ultimate strength, try to keep your arms straight and extended. I don't know what that means, ultimate strength, but there's more resistance that way, as it were. And let your rib cage come along for the ride. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana, dive down. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale your right leg up. Exhale, open your hip and bend your knee. Inhale, straighten and reach. Exhale, low lunge. Step it forward, grab it, scooch it up, back heel down. Inhale, warrior one, rise up. Exhale, Dikasana, Virabhadrasana. Tilt your chest forward, direction or airplane, hands back by the hips. Inhale, Virabhadrasana, rise up. Exhale, Dikasana, arms, sweep them back as you were before. Last time, inhale, breathing to extend. Exhale, breathing to shift. Inhale, arms up, reach up. Exhale, hands down, step back and pause in plank pose. And then come to forearm plank, the left forearm down. So you can turn it to the right so it's perpendicular with the long seam of your mat. Other angles are encouraged. I like to stack my top foot and bring my top arm over like I'm in a 1950s synchronized swimming video. You are always welcome to be on your hand. Take your top arm up, do a different leg variation. I'm going to stay for time, about 20 seconds. We're already about 10 seconds in. Breathe. 5, 3, 2, 1. Forearm plank. You can always do this with knees down or alternate back and forth between. Another 20 seconds or so. And when it's impossible, what do you do? When it's difficult, how do you react? Last 5. Good. Slowly, Sphinx pose, lower your hips to the mat. You might have to walk your arms wider so you can lower down, or walk your arms more forward so you can prop up. And try to give yourself a little lift so that you can sink down into your shoulder joint, as it were, a little bit. Take an inhale, lift your heart forward and up, and mindfully, carefully exhale, draw your breastbone back and round your upper back. You can tuck your chin too if it feels good. Inhale, pull your heart forward and up through your arm, shoulder blades into the back. And exhale, lead with your breastbone. Contract your abdominals, round through your upper back. A few more, follow your breath, inhaling to the extended position and exhaling to the rounded place. There's a lot of heavy shoulder work. Springtime is a good time to clear out. A good time to plant new things. A good time to create and to destroy. Good. And the next time you're in Sphinx pose, pause, take an inhale, and exhale to walk your hands back underneath your shoulders. Curl your toes under from knees or toes. Inhale through plank or table, and exhale back to downward facing dog pose. Take a big free inhale in through your nose, please. Open mouth, exhale, HA. Good. Inhale in through your nose. Like a lion, HA. Slow in through your mouth like through a straw. Out through your nose, Ujjayi Pranayama. In through the nose, Ujjayi. Out through the nose, Ujjayi. Inhale your left leg up, 1 footed dog pose. Exhale, scorpion the dog. Open your hip and bend at your knee. Inhale, straighten and reach, and exhale, low lunge. Step your foot forward between your hands. Spin your back heel down. Inhale, warrior 1. Rise up, reaching up. Exhale, Dikasana arms back by the hips, airplane wing style. Good. Keep your hips and legs low as you inhale to lift up through the arms, the upper body, and exhale to tilt forward and down. Plug into your heels, soften your toe grip. Inhale, reach up and back. Exhale, Dikasana arms like airplane wings. And one more time, full round, inhaling and exhaling. Inhale up, warrior 1. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step back, plank pose. Take a big free inhale and exhale, slow. Let's come into side plank with your right arm. You might roll to the outside edge of your right foot, stagger, stack your feet. Take your top arm up or over and gaze upward if your neck allows, and breathe. 20 seconds. Last 10. 5, 3, 2, 1. Forearm plank. Only 10 seconds this time. Remember, I can't see you, and even if I could, you could decide not to do it at any time. Breathing. Good. Exhale to Sphinx pose. This time, as you come into Sphinx pose, we're going to come all the way down onto the front body. But while you're up there, you can take your right arm out to the right, put your palm down, thumb at about nose height. Some of us, more back, more forward, bent elbow, experiment. Look to the left and roll to the right side of your body. You can drop your hips over. You're welcome to bend your knees and stack them. Hang your head if it's available. If you don't need that left hand, you might drop it behind your back. Instead of trying to press your shoulder down, maybe try pressing your hand down and see if that changes anything into the earth. Good. And slowly, with the aid of your left hand, roll back onto your front seam. Let's do the opposite side of the posture. You might want to open and close your hand or move your arm around a little. Take your left arm out to the left, gaze to the right, and roll to the left side. And you can drop your right hip over, plant the foot, stack your knees. You know, the joints are all going to be different. Not to be too sort of overly direct about it, but if we were to cut all of our shoulder joints open, they would all look like really different. And they would result in different ranges of motion where they met one another. So you'll have to feel it. That's our best information since we haven't developed X-ray vision yet. Good, and slowly, using the support of your right hand, roll back into the front seam of your body. And bring your left hand under your left shoulder, and we're going to take Cobra pose. I'm going to suggest a bit of an extended Cobra. So you might start even in Sphinx, and then try pressing into your hands and straightening your arms. Sometimes even further in front is the way to do it. Some of us will prefer a wider version of that. And some of us will stay lower just on purpose, strengthening what is getting stronger, etc. If you feel like you can lift even higher, you might walk your hands in and back. Try to keep your pelvis on the ground. Squeeze your butt. It will help. Squeeze your hamstrings and kick the tops of your feet into the ground. And start to lift your chest up. If your neck allows, you might even look up and gaze back. If everything feels good, you're welcome to bend your knees and bring your toes towards your tail. And you could think about what it was like when you were 4 and you could still touch your toes to your head, or maybe you still can. Breathing now. Uddiyana Mula Bandha suggested. Good, and very slowly, next 3 or so breaths, unwind each action. Come all the way down. You can bring one ear to the mat or the other. A little bit of sleeping infant moment. Bend your right knee and slide it out and up on the floor. A little bit like half of a frog, or if we had a drone's eye view, you'd look like a Spider-Man crawling up the side of the building. If you'd like a little added quad stretch, bend your left knee, squeeze your toes to your tail. Maybe you have range of motion to grab your foot with your right hand and pull. Remember, like great-grandfather's wingspan still comes to play. Good, release your left leg, release your right leg, and switch up the sides, bend your left knee out and up. You might turn your gaze the opposite way. You might hang there, breathing. And you're always welcome to, once again, bend your right knee. You might stay there, reach for your right foot with your left hand, and squeeze your heel towards your tail. Good. Release your right leg long. Release your left leg long. And bring your hands underneath your shoulders and press up to tabletop, a hands and knees position. Once again, give yourself a little time to roll from side to side, back and forth. You might sort of imagine you're cleaning out the inside of a barrel, roll around a little bit. When you feel like you've done what needs doing from this perspective, this purvey, you can cross your ankles behind you and sit your hips behind your ankles or take your legs off to one side. We'll do a forward folding action. I'm going to suggest Paschimottanasana, but if you prefer Baddha Konasana or a different folded position, feel free. You might move the flesh out from underneath you or once again sit up on the edge of something. You can even roll up the mat and reach up for the sky or reach for the feet. Inhale, extend, and exhale, fold. You're welcome to fold and hang passively, drop the head, even bend the knees. You're welcome to even bend the knees and be active. Press through the feet, the heels, the balls of the feet. Bend your elbows and pull. Use your biceps. Integrate your shoulders into your back. Stick out your tail and imagine you're pressing your tail out and back behind you just as much as you're pressing your feet forward and long in front of you in those active stances. Good. Like a half lift. Inhale. Unroll your heart. Exhale. Round in. Good. One more time. Inhale and roll your heart. Exhale, round in and keep on rounding. Release the grip on your feet and try to curl all the way down onto your back. You might have to scoot yourself a little forward to stay in your space or on your mat. Once you're down on your back, last little moment of undulation opportunity. Bend your knees and plant the soles of your feet on the mat. We'll do 3 or 4 rolling bridges. You might do more or less in your own pacing. But start by exhaling to tuck your tail and press the small of your back down. And slowly on your inhale, squeeze your glutes and roll your pelvis up off the mat. At the top, you might even roll your shoulder blades a little together and puff it up. Take another inhale at the top, and on your exhale, slow from the top, tuck your tail and roll yourself all the way back down onto the mat. Try to keep curling your tail up until the very last moment, and do that 2 more times. Inhaling maybe to lift through the tail. Exhale, press your low back down, and inhale slowly. Start to roll yourself up. You might need to add extra breaths or breathe in a different way to continue doing this or to give yourself enough oxygen and space. And the next time your hips are on the ground, pause, and you're welcome to feel your tail heavy, to drop your knees from side to side a few times. And we'll start to resolve the practice into rest. We're a few minutes over. Always full disclosure, probably get done a couple minutes after 7:20. You're welcome to gather your knees slowly into your chest and give them a squeeze. Maybe you stay in a twist for a little while. Maybe you have a safe practice of plow or a shoulder stand or something like that that you want to take time to do now. Remember, you don't have to do it simply because you can. You don't have to play with all of the cards in your deck all of the time, just the right ones for right now. When you're ready, we'll meet in resting. You can lie on your back, your side, your belly. You could take a meditation seat, settle over to a friendly wall or chair, and take your legs up or over for a little bit of resting inversion. Maybe for you, lying in a forward fold is actually the spot of rest, and that's 100% welcome. Allow yourself to find that space. And I suggest closing of the eyes, but you're always welcome to keep them open if it's more self-regulating for you to do so. Pick a spot to see. You might do a few more breaths or moments of getting to rest if you're still working your way through. But if you're at rest when you arrive, if there's any last nose scratches and wiggles or futzes you need to take care of them. Give yourself permission to move so that then you can choose to be still after that for the rest of your rest. Choose some more sustainable to be. Give over your control or your manipulation of your breath to your body's own involuntary breath sense. Let go of Ujjayi pranayama. Let your bones get heavy. Feel the earth at your back. We'll rest in this way for a few minutes. I'll call you up and out when it's time to return to action. If you know you need to stay for longer, you always can. You know you need to sort of turn off the computer or mute something so that you can have your own timing. Feel free to. When it's time for us to return to action, I'll call you up and out with chanting and with cueing. Until that time, allow yourself to pay attention to these fluctuations of experience that you're having. Maybe they're very subtle, maybe they're very obvious. Give yourself the power and agency, the confidence and compassion to be able to pay attention to how things really are. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasti Navadi Tamastu Mavit Vashavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. If you're lying in rest and wish to remain, do. The time has come to you for you to return to the stream of action. Begin to go down and in with your awareness, the eye of your mind, and feel for your breath as it rises and falls. And little by slowly, as you put together a timeline to return to action, begin there with the breath. Watch it rise and ask it to become conscious and intentional enough just to bring yourself back to life. Wiggle your fingers and toes or move in any intuitive way as impulse arises, as instinct kicks in. You might scrunch your face or run your tongue over your teeth or stretch out or up. Slowly in the next 3 to 5 rounds of breath, pick an exhale to gather your knees in towards your chest and roll onto your favorite side. Take a moment on the side body to acknowledge the action that you've taken today and how it sits in the timeline with all things that came before and all things that will come in the future. Practice gratitude for your position in the cosmic loop of things. And when you're ready, press yourself up towards a tall seat and we'll seal in the practice together. That's another traditional chant in the lineage of Krishnamacharya. It's a Sanskrit chant. Its overarching meaning is may we together be protected. May we together know joy. May our work together for the benefit of all be brilliant. May we not fight, hate, or dispute with one another. And may our work lead us towards continuous universal union with cosmic peace, peace, peace. If you wish, you can fold your hands in the prayer position or hold in the eye of your mind the idea that things that seem disparate are part of the same everything. They have a meeting place on the spectrum of all. And that we understand how to make space to reconcile what is unreconcilable, not with the logic of the mind, but with the kindness that lies in the space of the heart. Thank you for your time and energy. If you wish, you can draw your thumbs to the third eye, acknowledging that the mind must find a way to bow to the wisdom of the heart. If you wish, you can bow to yourself, seal in the practice. Thank you. I always just want to remind you, Posers continues to have a pretty full schedule. You can always check out posers.us is where there's like a Google Calendar. It's under classes. And there's always live links to all the classes, lots of radical teachers Zooming and streaming in different ways. And a lot of the information about how to donate is there as well. If you're donating for this class, you can donate to me. My Venmo is Practice School of Magic, just like the YouTube channel. I have a Cashapp at Alyssa Backbends, and there's a PayPal too. I always list everything though, so if you're ever concerned about that, I just bring it up because I get a lot of messages of people sort of being like, I haven't donated, don't worry, like we'll figure it out, it's chill. It's always like that, so the energetic exchange is the point of view because money and commodity doesn't quite hold what we're doing, right? So it's just one of the ways that we make it happen. I'm going to give you a little bit of time and space to roll